everyone, I'm back again with the next step of my Christmas card making process. Each year I either like to teach myself a new technique or find a cool material to use for my cards. So this year I am using pages out of these journals that you see before you, which is the Quarterly Journal of Mathematics. So if you know me, you might know that I have a degree in mathematics and I've been wanting to do a math-themed card for a while. I also work at a library and I work with the journals at the library, and recently we have done a big withdrawal of a lot of our math and science journals, and these were all withdrawn from the library. So I rescued them to use as a material for my Christmas cards. So what I'm looking for in these journals is pages that have a lot of equations or symbols on them, so it really looks like, oh, clearly this is math. So let's see what we've got here. So like that page, that kind of stuff. So we're looking for those, and let's see what we can find. All right, let's flip through. Here's a good candidate. So I'm just going to tear out the pages of the ones I want to use. This is actually kind of cathartic after all the years of math I had to do. All right, that's a good start. You know me, I like my shortcuts, so if you're short on time, you can just grab the covers and kind of shake the pages out. They'll just fall right out. I think we've got enough pages for the next step, so let's clear off our space. Next, I've got a tool I use every year. This is my notebook with the measurements for my cards on it. So despite the fact that I make these every year, the measurements are the same every year. I can never remember what they are, so I've got them written out here. So what we're going to be doing with these pages is we're going to do some layer 1 and layer 2, because I'm going to use one on the inside and one on the outside of the card. I've got a few different tools I'm going to use for this next step. A quilting ruler, a pencil, a tearing ruler. So first I'm going to use the quilting ruler. I've got it taped out to the measurements for my layer 1 on my cards, just so I don't have to remember what they are each time. Obviously, since I said I can't remember those numbers from year to year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out the area I want to tear on my paper, and then flip the ruler over. So this corner that I've just drawn lines up with the red corner here. And do it again this way. So that's just going to give me a guide for my tearing. And I don't think I mentioned it already, but I thought it might be nice to have a rough edge on this, since I'm going to do a straight edge on my other layer. The next step is to take our tearing ruler and we're going to tear along the lines that we have just drawn. So what you want to do is line up your edge, and I'm going to use a decal edge and the smaller edge of this ruler. It has a large decal and a small decal. So I'm going to do the small decal, line it up against my pencil line, and then you grab your edge and you tear fast. It'll give you a nice edge. Bottom, and then the other edge. And there you go. And I'm going to be using the other side of this paper so I don't have the pencil line visible. And it also kind of is a little rough on the back edge, but the front looks good. So there's one piece of paper cut out for layer 1. And then we're gonna do the same thing for layer 2. So I'm gonna retape my lines on my quilting ruler. And as you can see from my little handy sheet here, layer 2 is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. So I'm gonna take my low tack tape out the 4 1/2 line here, and the 3 1/4 line on the other side. So that's 3 1/4. All right, and we're ready to trace. And tear. All right, and then we've got our layer 2 piece, so it's a little bit smaller than layer 1. All right, so I've got a lot of these to do, so I'm going to try and go a little quicker here. So we've got our layer 1s, our layer 2s, and there we go. And then layer 2, there you go. If you can't get that trick to work, you can tear 2 or 3 pages at a time. And if you're gonna do a tearing project, I highly recommend getting a tearing ruler. They cut so much better. You can do it with a regular ruler, but you might end up being a little frustrated. So that's basically all I've got for this step. So stay tuned to see what happens to these pieces next.